everybody. I'm Laura Trump coming to you from my home in New York. It seems as though the world has gone mad with Joe Biden and the Democrats going full tilt radical socialism. Joining me is a man who really needs no introduction, but is a rock legend, outdoorsman, and conservative activist, Ted Nugent. Ted, welcome to the show.
Laura, I feel welcome. Thank you for celebrating truth, logic, and common sense. The Trump and Nugent and we the people. God bless America, huh?
God bless America. I mean, we could end it right there, but I feel like we need to get a little more from you. President Trump, as you have seen, Ted, has enforced law and order while the Democrats have enabled lawlessness and rioting. Give me your thoughts on what we've seen happen in this country and some of our great cities of this country over the past several weeks.
Well, Laura, I'll do better than just giving my thoughts because even though my confidence cup runneth over, my real connection with the working hard, playing hard families of this country of ours, they approach me at the sushi bar and at the coffee shop and at the feed mill and at the gun store and everywhere I go. So I will share with you a pulse that I am honored and humbled to connect with all my life because I've been an activist. I actually believe that guitar players qualify as we the people and we get to experiment in self-government. Call me wild, but that's my conclusion. So when they share these things with me in a casual encounter, like I said, at restaurants and gas stations, and I go to every state, I go to all 50 states, I play in every major city and every secondary city, and I share a lot of campfires with conservative families who celebrate God, family, and country. And I gotta tell you, Donald Trump came in with a crowbar attacking the toxic status quo that incrementally put us in this embarrassing and dangerous condition where literally the left has morphed into an anti-law and order, an anti-safe street, an anti-secure neighborhood insanity. So the frustration and the anger that people share with me across this country, number one, we're heartbroken that arson and assault and murder and terrorism is allowed, even welcomed into places like Seattle and around the country. But equal to that heartbreak is the confidence and hope that we do have a president that knows that the American dream and quality of life itself, pivots upon law and order. And I don't care what anybody's saying out there. I've been a sheriff deputy in Lake County, Michigan since 1983. I've conducted raids with federal agents, U.S. Marshals and FBI, the good FBI guys. There are some, by the way. And I have not just an American dream connection with these heroes of law enforcement, but they also share their frustration. And they do God's work 99.99% of the time.
Yes, they do.
And horrifically, also, the liberal Democrat policy of union excuse making, excusing abuse of power and oath violating by certain rogue cops, it has been allowed, therefore encouraged. So there's 2 points. Number one, good American families know that our lives depend on secure neighborhoods and streets, and we salute, we revere law enforcement and first responders. And we are aghast that de Blasio allowed that to happen and Seattle allowed that to happen. So we pray for the great President Donald Trump and the law enforcement heroes, and we know that this too shall pass.
Ted, you're very outspoken about our individual liberties in America. It's one of the greatest things that we have in the United States. How do you think Joe Biden's embrace of radical socialism would impact our freedoms if, God forbid, he became president?
Well, let me also share the pulse of my fellow good Americans. Ted Nugent, I'm going to do a benefit concert and try and buy Joe Biden a syllable. This guy is not only, painfully deranged in a mental capacity, but much more egregious and dangerous than that. We believe that he is deranged on a spiritual level. He is the poster child for hypocrisy. He is the poster child for political wind reading. He literally will go with whatever pandering will serve his purpose on this day and then counter that pandering for this group on that day.
That's right.
We know how this guy operates, and all you have to do, polls be damned. I was there during the 2015, 2016 polls. Hello. Believe me, there are polls, and then there are people that work very hard and maybe don't partake in those polls, but they show up at Donald Trump's rallies. They show up to support the president. They are supporting him across the board. So not only is President Trump a great man, but Joe Biden is a classic representative of the deep state status quo, power abusing, criminal oath. They violate their oath, Lara. I take that oath to the Constitution as a sheriff deputy. Those words have iron. And Joe Biden and his Democrat friends violate that oath over and over again. And again, first emotion is heartbreak, and then that morphs into anger, and that anger will manifest itself in a conservative voting army. We have huntthevote.org, where we're encouraging people who believe in God, family, country, work ethic, productivity, law and order, goodwill, decency, hunting rights, conservation rights, private property rights, all that radical stuff. We are trying to galvanize the heretofore non-engaged conservative voting army to stand up and be counted. And I can ultimately define it this way, Lara. I've saluted too many flag draped coffins where the heroes of the military made the ultimate sacrifice for that oath. That's why they charged into battle, because they believed the words of their oath to the U.S. Constitution. And I hang out with them all the time. I'm with them every day. We got Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Green Berets, Delta Force, Special Ops. We have the heroes that provide the freedom that isn't free. And they are incensed at the agenda and the support for Antifa, the encouragement of terrorism by the Democrats and the left. You do need to read this before you sign it. And I'm just a guitar player, and I figured that out all by myself. So my confidence is running good. In fact, I have the ultimate confidence because the Nugent family is a family. We believe in God, family, and country. This is my dangerous wife, Shemaine, and she is also on the warpath to get conservatives to actually be a force to reckon with. If you don't vote, Nancy Pelosi thanks you. So this is the battle cry across America, and Shemaine does such a great job because even though she impacts a lot of people, she impacts more people.
Well, I'm so appreciative of what you're doing, and if there's any way that I can help, I'm on social media every day, have a new show out, and I'd love to be a part of your movement.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Well, thank you for fighting for this country. Thank you for fighting for our president. It's so important. And by the way, it's going to take all of us in this country to fight back against this radical socialist Democrat Party right now. It is absolutely terrifying. But Ted, what you're saying is so real when it comes to the silent majority in this country. They did get it wrong in 2016. They have gotten it wrong consistently whenever it comes to Donald Trump. But Americans now have 3.5 years of conservative achievement to judge Donald Trump on, and 50 years of failure on which to judge Joe Biden. I think it's a pretty clear decision for people.
And what you're speaking is the most controversial stuff in the world. Truth, logic, and common sense. I mean, that's
amazing.
It's I have to laugh, even though my most powerful instinct is to cry, because the left and their anti-American agenda, and a lot of people go, well, that's rhetorical. Well, it happens to be obvious and irrefutable. The evidence is in all those burned buildings. The evidence is in the Trump haters. There is a gang known as Trump haters. And I'm afraid those Democrats and the liberals and the media and academia and Hollywood, they're on the side of those. They can deny this, but they are part of the hate Trump gang who are burning down family businesses, who are clubbing mom and pop shopkeepers to death with 2x4s, throwing firebombs at their fellow Americans. This is not ambiguous. This is glaring. So my confidence cup is bubbling over because, and I could be fooled pretty easily because I hang out with the greatest people in the world. Goofballs tend to part like the Red Sea before Moses wherever I go. They avoid me because they know they can't debate me.
Yeah.
Because logic, common sense, certainly unlimited historical and current evidence to support everything I stand for and everything the president stands for. So I can summarize it thusly. Liberalism is an anti-human curse. It literally is against rugged individualism. It's against declaring independence. It's against the self-evident truths as outlined in those sacred pillars of America, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. But worse than liberalism, worse than the leader of the Democrat Party committing a felony on TV and ripping up the State of the Union address and thousands of other examples. Worse than that, worse than an accordion in a rock and roll song, worse than that is the self-inflicted cultural suicide of apathy. And I beseech, implore, beg, cajole, and threaten my fellow licensed hunting families, the landowners, the ranchers, the farmers, the best of the best. So many of them are not registered to vote. If you don't vote, the enemy considers you part of their team.
That's
and
true.
Statistically, they are. So
Yeah.
America, if you believe in God, family, and country, you need to make sure you, your family, your coworkers, your friends at church and school, at the barbecue, at the shooting range, everywhere you go, you need to scold your fellow conservatives. You need to register, you need to vote, because without Donald Trump, we are Venezuela.
That's right. It's very, very scary. Ted, how do you think whenever history reflects back on this time in our country, how do you think it will be reflected?
History is going to treat that Donald Trump, like our founding fathers, was sent here by divine providence to stop the train wreck, the abuse of power, the criminality, the cabal, the deep state, the scammers who can vote themselves a raise, vote themselves a lifetime salary, vote themselves a custom health care while dishing out the crumbs to the peons who are stupid enough to take this criminality. The tables have turned, and Donald Trump is a great, great man, and he came at the last minute in the nick of time. So as I expressed this isn't like, well, Nugent's got his opinions. I have not expressed one opinion yet.
You're right. You're just stating the facts.
I'm sharing the pulse of the greatest Americans who would never commit a crime, who would run into a fiery building and save their neighbor, who would help their neighbor in the time of need, who would send water and medical aid and supplies to people in Haiti and Africa and Honduras. This is my America. This is not like a Nugent weird perspective. The Nugent family operates on positive, giving, loving, caring, generous, connected, and participation.
And most people are good.
Yes.
Vast majority.
Down to their core. We all know that, but the media is trying to tell us otherwise.
Yes,
So,
they're trying to divide us. You're right.
unless we can take control over the media and change this, right this wrong, and
Yeah.
rewrite the history books, because now is really important. We are living such an incredible and epic, maybe even a biblical time.
I agree.
It's up to us to change this course and to right those wrongs.
Laura, I'm going to let Shemaine, Tucker Carlson, Rush Limbaugh, and Sean Hannity write the history books.
Oh!
Then we know it'll be accurate.
That one I would love to see. I hope you're right. I hope we could do that. Well, look, it is a very important time in our country, and it's just so great to know that there are such great supporters out there. Thank you both. I got 2 for 1 today, so thank you both for everything you do to stand up for our country, and really appreciate you being with us today.
Well, thank you. Stay on course. Never give up. Never bend over. Never back down. We, the people, will overcome. And I pray for this great country every day because it's the last best place.
And stay healthy. The most important thing we can all do is to stay healthy so we can continue to to spread this good message.
Amen to that. All right. The only thing standing between a socialist America and our bright conservative future is 4 more years of Donald Trump. That's the real news for today. If you'd like to get involved with Team Trump, go to donaldjtrump.com or download the official Trump 2020 app from the App Store or the Google Play Store. I'm Laura Trump, coming to you from my home in New York. Thanks for joining us, everybody.